somebody else said they were overwhelmed. I don't even know if I can make it through this. Thank you so much, whoever put that video together, and for the kind remarks that people made. I'm humbled, I'm honored, I'm a little bit embarrassed. I've led a fantasy life. My personal life, my family life, and my legal career have been such that I'm constantly pinching myself to say, how could it be so good? When people ask me, how are you doing? I always tell them, better than I deserve, and I really mean that. I can't imagine anybody being more fortunate than I have been. This award is particularly meaningful to me, both the timing, the fact that one of the things that I treasure most about my professional life is what the judges and the lawyers I deal with think about me as a person, as a professional. And to receive an award for that honor in my father's name, it really is overwhelming. When Jimmy called me and said that they were going to present this award, I was first shocked. And then I looked at the list of prior recipients, and when you compare your life to those people, Wayne Hogan, Larry Stewart, Herman Russomanno, people that I've always admired and looked at as the leaders of our profession, I just can't stand up to what those people are, but I'm not going to turn the award down anyway. And I thought to myself, this, as crazy as it might sound, I called my father Barney as a kid. You know, I always pictured myself in the crib saying, Barney. But it's one of those things that was just natural to me. I never thought anything of it. And one of the first thoughts I had was, how would Barney feel about this? You know, all these giants of the profession had previously received this award, and I felt that it was a compliment to his memory to see the giants of this profession compliment his memory. Then I thought, how would he feel about a dwarf of the legal profession getting an award like this? And I had an imaginary conversation. I went to his office that used to be Jimmy's office. It's now my partner Greg Hoag's office, and I sat down in the client chair and I looked across the table, and I had an imaginary conversation with my dad. And I know many of the people here were friends of my father's. I see Bill Wagner, and he was sarcastic. He had a great sense of humor. And I said, Barney, I want you to know that I'm going to be given an award for professionalism from the Academy. He would have known what the Justice Association was. And it's going to be presented in your name. And he said, I demand a recount. This has to be a mistake. Is it possible there are two Tom Mastersons and you've confused this? Maybe this is just a cruel joke that somebody is playing on you. And I said, Barney, think how the older George Bush felt when W was elected as president. Sometimes the idiot son does something productive. And he seemed to understand the analogy that I was drawing. And eventually he said, all right, I'll go along with it, but only if they have a footnote that says, presented under protest from BJ Masterson. And then I had an opportunity to do something in this fantasy conversation that I never did. I had so many great advantages as a trial lawyer because I was Barney's son. Jimmy mentioned one of them, that everywhere I went, as an aside, as trial lawyers, we are constantly battling for credibility. We do it with judges, we do it with juries, we do it with defense lawyers, with adjusters. And my father gave me the gift of presumed reliability and professionalism. That the people I dealt with, and as I looked at the list of people and of the people I've seen here today, I know there are many. Bill Wagner's son is with his firm. I know he's had the same experience. I see Mark Aver here. His father was an accomplished lawyer, and many doors were opened. The first year I practiced, he took me to Perry Nichols' house. Perry was his friend, and Mr. Nichols had stopped practicing, but in an afternoon, really in about 10 minutes, he gave me some advice that has impacted me my entire career. Relationships with some of the lawyers of his day, and when he started when he was the president of the Academy with Murray Sams, Bill Colson, Bill Hicks. There were just superstars, and I had a relationship with them that when I needed to call on somebody, in about 1982, I had a series of important cases, and we didn't feel we could sue local orthopedic surgeons, and I called Larry Stewart, who was, I thought, a giant, and he was a friend, and the door was open because of my relationship with my father. And between the conversation with Perry Nichols and watching Larry Stewart, Gary Fox, and David Bianchi work up a half a dozen cases, I learned more about what it takes to be a trial lawyer than all the CLEs I've attended over 40 years. They did things that have inspired me for the next 30 years. At the end of the conversation, I was able to make up for one of the great regrets in my life. All the doors that were opened, all the advantages that I had as a young lawyer, all the education that wasn't through CLE that was so important, I never thanked him. And I felt guilty about that for years. And then I thought, if this award does anything, it's a symbol of the thank you that I never gave my father. And I appreciate the people that were involved in this generous award being given to me. While I'm thanking people, I need to thank the people that drove across the state to be here today to see this. My children have never seen anybody say anything kind about me before, so it's a unique experience for them, but I've been truly blessed. My wife, Denny, is here, and during my entire married life, I've had people saying, does she have a visual problem or some kind of mild form of brain damage? Does she see who she's married to? But she's put up with me for a lifetime, my children, of whom I'm so proud, and a gathering of friends that I didn't even know were going to be here. And some of you might know Dino Kitchen. Anybody in here know Dino? He's kind of a countrified lawyer. Dino introduced me to a saying about 10 or 15 years ago, and he said that friends and family multiply joy and divide grief. And I think of it at every wedding. I think of it at every funeral. I think of it whenever a new grandchildren arrives. It is so true that the people that are here today to share in this joyous time truly magnify the experience, and they have helped me recently through some very difficult times, and I'm indebted to all of them, and I thank all of you for that. To the committee that made this selection, this is the greatest compliment to my career that I've ever received, and it's a moment I'll cherish. To the committee that does the recount, I will tell you that prying the hands of the National Rifle Association member off an automatic weapon will be nothing compared to trying to take this out of my hands. I thank all of you for letting me ramble on. Thank you so much.